Hello, I'm Adam Ferris and I serve as the kids pastor at Stevens Street Baptist Church. This video is intended for the training of kids ministry volunteer leaders. In this episode, we're going to discuss details about our policy against child abuse. Welcome back to another kids ministry training video. This is part 2 of 3 in our discussion of the new Safe Ministry Guidelines. This discussion will be more serious and detailed than previous videos due to the nature of the topic of child abuse. Child abuse happens when a person exerts his or her power over a child in ways that harm and or exploit the child. Generally, child abuse is categorized in 5 primary forms. Physical abuse is non-accidental trauma or physical injury of a child or failure to protect a child from harm. Neglect is failure to provide for a child's physical survival needs to the extent that there is harm or risk of harm to the child's health or safety. Sexual abuse is when a child is involved in intentional sexual acts that produce sexual arousal and or the gratification for the perpetrator, or sexual behaviors or situations in which there's a sexual component. Physiological harm is a repeated pattern of caregiver behavior or an extreme incident that conveys to children that they are worthless, flawed, unloved, unwanted, or endangered. Emotional abuse is mental or emotional injury to the child that results in observable and material impairment in the child or youth's growth, development, or psychological functioning. You can learn more about these forms of abuse through the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. Some possible indicators of abuse and neglect are as follows. A child has repeated injuries that are not properly treated or clearly explained. A child acts as a parent to his brother, sister, or even a parent. A child may act in ways that are developmentally inappropriate, such as sexual behavior that is not normal for his or her age group. Again, these are just a few common examples. However, please know that a child could have these indicators even though there is no abuse or neglect. Everyone in the state of Tennessee is a mandated reporter under state law. Anyone with reasonable cause to believe a child is being abused or neglected must, under law, immediately report to the Tennessee Department of Children's Services or to local law enforcement. You can contact the Child Abuse Hotline at 877-237-0004. If you suspect a case of child abuse, neglect, or questionable behavior, please notify a staff member immediately. We want to take all situations seriously. We can help you file the report, but you need to be prepared to share all details and information with the authorities. We must treat each situation with strict confidentiality and privacy for the protection of the child. Do not discuss the information with anyone except law enforcement and the appropriate church leadership. We need to allow law enforcement and agencies to get to the source of the situation. Again, child abuse and neglect is a very serious matter and should be treated as such. If you have any suspicions, please share those immediately to determine the next course of action. We need to be vigilant in our protection, but careful not to publicly and wrongly incriminate an individual. I appreciate your love and care for the kids at Stevens Street. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please make sure to watch the 3rd video in this series about the Safe Ministry Guidelines. Thank you.